Today I proved that this car can only do one thing right, and that's burnouts. Welcome back to Roadkill Projects. Oh, I am not excited to be doing this episode, but the blown Cornet is finally back. Yes. This car, I consider it a failure. This was basically supposed to be a General Hawk competitor. I wanted to have a nice Mopar, big car that would go lower than I think a 780 at the time. And it's basically time to face the facts. This car will never hit lower than a 780. Maybe it'll hit a 780. But there's no way in hell that this car is going to even reach what General Hawk is running now, which I think the new record is a 742, which is really maxing out the motor that I have in the car currently as well. So, yeah. This thing is never going to live to beat the General Hawk for many reasons, and also this thing handles terribly. It is set up so terribly as well, this car. But today we're going to attempt to fix it, because basically I think how this is going to work out is next weekend. Let me look on my calendar actually. So next weekend is the Restarsto. Thanksgiving is the 28th, which I'll talk about that in a second. The 29th, there's a special coming out for Sean's birthday. And the 30th will be when you're seeing this. So you're going to be getting 3 episodes in a row. And then 3 days after that, you're going to be getting episode 32 for December. And might be doing a Christmas special, I'm not sure. Not sure if we're doing one this year or not. I think we might, keep December nice and simple. Give myself a little break. But yeah, this is where we stand with this car. I need it for a shootout coming up very soon here, and that's going to be the Thanksgiving special. We are doing a Mopar shootout. As you see in the background in the previous episode, we went and got that Pontiac or Plymouth over there. Sorry. And that has a 318 in it. We also have a 383 sitting around that was just like a random car that was bought. And we also want, I also want a 440. I think we need to have a big old 440. And this has a blown 440. So I thought this rather than my Super B. And the final car, I don't know what we're going to do for a 426 Hemi yet. But I'd like to have 4 vehicles, put all the Mopars up against each other, at least motor-wise. I don't know if we're going to have a 426 Hemi and an actual Mopar car, but I want to do a battle of the Mopars, and this thing needs to handle better. So I think as you can see, this car, it's already pretty bad. It has a nice stance and everything, but the suspension ain't set up for going fast at all, but also this car has way too much horsepower to be going fast. So you may just think, oh, I'm just going to leave it and send it. No, I actually want this car to be controllable, because this car isn't fun. It's too uncontrollable. Like, it basically, there is such a fine line of a point of no return when the car spins out that you basically lose control. You cannot direct the car, and that's just because the Cornets here, they have terrible steering angle. Terrible. And note that the alignment is the same fucking alignment that's set up on the car stock. I mean, there might be a little bit of modification to the rear, but the front end is completely stock alignment. There's nothing done to it to make it handle any better than it is right now. But also, that's only part of the issue. The part of the issue is, and I hate to say this, we have too much horsepower. This thing is making 1750 to the crank, I'm pretty sure. So this is probably making 1730 to 35 maybe to the wheels, or less. It might be making 1700 to the wheels. I don't know the drivetrain loss with this car. There's your example of it being a poorly handling car. And you may be wondering, like, oh, this thing handled great when you first built it, and it really did. It only handled great for the type of bullshit that I was doing. But also, that was a much simpler time. And, you know, the past 2 seasons of Roadkill, I've really learned a lot about Beamng and how to tune cars, how to make them go fast, and this was built during that learning curve. So, I hate to do it, but I'm putting a smaller blower on it. We're still going to have the blower stick out of the hood, yes, that's 100% going to happen. But, well, first, before we put a smaller blower on it, I'd really like to keep the blower, because this car has a look that I love. We're going to try to do some suspension modifications to the car. I'm going to get the car, like, properly aligned and see if it'll handle any better. Brakes are a suggestion. Yeah, brakes are terrible. But yeah, like, the car's properly going to get aligned. We're going to do some suspension work to it. And hopefully make it better. I have well, actually, since you've last seen the car, I'm pretty sure no one knows this. I've put suspension in the front end, actually. I don't know if this is going to limit my steering angle or not, but, like, you know, look at that. That's like nothing. Plus, the front end of the car is so low that, you know, I can't really fit a fatter tire on it. So I might go back to stock suspension. If not, I'm going to try to lower the leafs in the rear, and I'm going to put a semi-drag tune-up on this car. So I want it to still be a good street car, but I would like to run, like, 2 passes at the drag strip with this car just to see if it's any better with a new suspension setup. That's, like, first off on the book here. But if I need to, I'm just going to put a smaller blower on it. At least maybe for the time being, I'll put the bigger blower back on the car. But I really need to dumb down the horsepower on this car. Maybe even put the rev limiter back to like 5,500 or something and choke the car for power, which is a really weird Beamng thing, but it makes sense. I've never heard of a rev limiter really choking the car's max potential power, but then again, the power that I usually read in this game is crank horsepower. I don't read the wheel horsepower. At least that's what I think it is for the Beamng app. I'm pretty sure it's crank horsepower, but who knows. But I'm going to properly align the car, put the better leafs on it, and yeah, we're going to see how it does. And I got new wheels and tires for it that are going to be grippy. I finally found a wheel and tire setup that's actually going to be grippy for this. Like, I was able to run the car kind of decently with rear tires, and I got fronts just to run it constantly. But yeah, I'll be right back with those changes, and then we'll see if we need a smaller blower. This thing is now low, but I have run into this issue. My wheels don't fit as well as I want them to. So I gotta put a smaller front tire on, which I hate. I wanted to put these nice 15x10s on. Also, something I realized. I didn't have adjustable upper control arms. So maybe, you know what, let's put standard steering back in this as well. Maybe that'll get me some of that steering angle that I want back. quick ratio steering box. I'm not even gonna mess with that. So put a 15 by 10. I can probably get away with a 15.7 with a grip all tire on it. I'm pretty sure I could put a racing slick on the 15 by 7 4 slots. If I remember correctly. Ooh boy, that's a big tire too. Ooh boy, maybe I can't. Sport. Oh boy. Alright, the 15 by 7s I cannot. I really don't think a 15 by 9 is going to solve my issue, because it's a pretty wide wheel still. But I can put a smaller tire on it. So maybe I'll be lucky. If not, I'm just going to go with it. It solves... It doesn't solve the issue. Yeah, the front end's too low. I'm going to have to put like a really small-ass tire on. Maybe a 15 by 6? I know a 15 by 6 will definitely have a small enough tire. But with a grip ball slick, though, is my question. No, it ain't even gonna get me that. Okay, so we are not gonna have matching wheels. I just want a wheel that'll fit, so then I don't have that ugliness. I'm pretty sure 15 by 7 can put a drag slick on the draggers. So... It's also a way thinner wheel. Oh yeah. Way better. Can I put a slick on it? No. I can't. Well, you know what? Let's just go with some sport fronts. They're a little bit bigger of a tire. Maybe they'll have some lettering on it. I don't know. But they're just going to have to do. Yeah, it's an even smaller tire. Might grip up a little better, but yeah. I'm not a fan of how low this thing is now, but this is basically a drag setup. But I don't know. We're going to take it to the strip and test it out, and then I guess I'll just go into the parking lot and see. Oh boy. The tire's really hopped there. Oh boy. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Alright, let's take this corner. It's a little better. Really bouncy suspension. This is not set up for the street at all. This ain't a smaller blower yet. Let me just put that out there. I didn't put a smaller blower on it yet. But I'm willing to if it means that, you know, this thing will at least, you know, handle decently at the shootout. Wow, the brakes worked. I adjusted the brake bias. It helped. Alright, I'm gonna take it to the strip, we'll do 2 runs, and then I guess we'll test it out on like a shitty little autocross course or something. We'll be back. Alright. Let's see how bad this thing is. Really, it pushed the fucking beams. I really fucking hate this car, if people can't tell. This car is so terrible. Highly considering a smaller blower. If maybe it'll fucking crash, I don't know. If it crashes, I'm done. This thing can gladly just die. It spun the whole track. I'll do another run. But god damn did that spin terribly. Wow. And I thought these tires gripped well. I guess I was wrong. And again, when I tested this, I was at the Texas track, not at the California one. Oh, boy. Alright, let's give it another try, see if it gets any faster. Okay. $860. That fucking gear change wasn't good either. 868 at 163. Car is still a terrible fucking drag car. I might as well just put stock suspension on the car before Thanksgiving. Well, then again, I'm filming the episode in 2 days, so. Does good burnouts for distance, but let's see what it's gonna do around an autocross, at least with turning. I don't think it's gonna do very well. Maybe it'll crash. If it crashes, I'll be happy because then I can just get a different car and put the 440 in that and leave the suspension alone and just thrash it. Way prefer to do that at this point than use this car. Or just return this thing to stock. I don't know. Alright, we'll be back. So I can already tell you just on the drive over here, the car is a bit better. But it's still understeers. And there's still that point of no return. Oh boy. The car just pivots on the front wheels, like you can't. Yep, there it is. There's that just unbelievable understeer. It corners better, like I will give it that. Just, oh, hey, I was able to correct there. Yeah, that was a little better. Oh, bounciness, bounciness, bounciness. I hate this car. I truly hate this car. Wow. Yeah, I hate this thing. I don't know if I'm going to drive it for the Thanksgiving special. You're still going to get this episode because I just want people to know that this car is terrible. I hate that I ever built it. I hate that I ever edited the suspension. I should have left it stock suspension and never turned it into a drag car. I have room to go back. I can go back to stock suspension. It's just, do I want to or just start out with something different and probably way cooler? That's the question that you'll have to find out on another episode, because I'm done. I don't want to drive this car anymore. I just want it to fucking crash. Maybe it'll crash in the shootout. I don't know. I might even just throw my Super B in instead of this now. I don't know. Hopefully you've enjoyed, though. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.